Officials from Paradise Valley have not responded to our repeated requests for comment or interviews.
So the idea that they would then be zooming in on the people is actually a whole new level of how we're seeing law enforcement use these cameras. I haven't actually personally seen that before. I'm not surprised, I guess, that it's happening. And these cameras are getting more and more advanced and logging all sorts of different information into their systems themselves as it is.
Back to the license plate readers, would the advice be, lock down your social media or be careful what you post online, or it's not something to worry about? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think a big thing, because we want people who want to share stuff publicly on social media. Like, this is your First Amendment right to do so, and like to put yourself out there. And I would hesitate to always just mass encourage people to lock down their social media. Though obviously everyone should make their own risk assessment and decide what is right for them. And if you think that you could be someone targeted by a federal agency or your government in any way, consider steps to make your social media more private. But beyond that, I think what actually needs to happen is probably pushes for stronger limitations on how this data is used and stored at the like local and state level. You can have usage limitations. You could have data retention limitations. Ultimately, this feels like an uphill battle in many locations at this point, but ultimately, like pushes to stop using things like Flock, we also would support. But I think even before going to that level, um, can push for stronger limitations on how it's used. Something that could happen at a legislative level or at a sort of legal challenge level is, and that we would very much support, push for there to be a search warrant before they can search the database. Right now, there is no level of requirement, not probable cause like you'd need for a warrant, and not even reasonable suspicion like you'd need for a car stop, for example. There's just no level of suspicion required to search an Alpr database. So that's another sort of limitation you could put on it. Um, and yeah, I think bringing awareness to the fact that they're using it to identify people and not just cars is actually quite an important push. Because I think some of the public awareness around it is not quite there either. And they're like, oh, if it's just capturing a license plate number, like, what does that tell you? But it's capturing so much more.